Hey everybody, thanks for watching. My name is Todd Lesher, and this is a good news for Next Gen resource committed to doing our part now for the faith and future of the next generation. Today we're going to talk about finding the right Bible for your kids. And there is so much research and information out there about the importance of reading to our children, but it's usually stressed most when kids go to school. And teachers will say that a kid needs to read about 20 minutes a day, but I'd say, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree, that it's never too early to start reading. So why don't you add a Bible to your daily reading list with your kids? So whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a guardian, or a Christian leader in the life of a child, there are so many Bibles out there, but Bibles are not one size fit all. So today we're going to talk about finding the right Bible for the age and phase of your child that will develop a better understanding and a knowledge of the Bible. But the thing that we need to talk about first is, why should we even read the Bible in the first place? And I think there are three reasons. One, we read the Bible to know the Bible. There are so many great stories and messages in there, and it's never too early to start developing that knowledge of the Bible. Number two is, once you have a knowledge of the Bible, it needs to move into an understanding of the Bible. Knowledge is great, but it shouldn't end there. It should lead to understanding. What does the Bible mean? What does it mean for my life? What does it mean for our world? And then number three, once you move from knowledge to understanding, it should lead to love. You see, the goal of Bible reading is not knowledge. It's love. At the end of the day, we read the Bible to grow in love for God and love for others. So let's start and find out what the right Bible is for your kids. And I think it breaks down into three categories. There are Bibles we read to our kids, Bibles we read together with our kids, and then Bibles that our kids read on their own. Read to Bibles, read together Bibles, and Bibles kids read on their own. So the first, we'll start with read to Bibles. These are the Bibles for babies and preschoolers. Yes, to emphasize it again, it's never too early to start reading the Bible to a child. So the read to Bibles are the Bibles that you read to a baby, a toddler, or a preschooler, for obvious reasons. They can't read, okay? We get that, but the reason that these Bibles are perfect for that category, that phase of a child, is because they're colorful and the wording in there is engaging, but it's really about the pictures that create interaction. You see, the goal of reading the Bible at this phase is not to get through the story, but to incite wonder and interaction through the story. You know that your child is going to want to turn the pages or touch the pages or rip the pages. And so you want to create some fun and enjoyment out of reading the Bible during this stage. And there are a couple Bibles that I'll recommend. The first one is the Jesus Storybook Bible. This one is both in English and in Spanish. This particular one has English and Spanish on the same page. This Bible is beautiful, but it is also really wordy. So what I'm going to say about this one is, this Bible is perfect for the phase of a child, whether it's a baby or a toddler, that still is in that cuddle phase. So whether or not you're feeding a baby, you're rocking a child to sleep, or you're just cuddling together and their attention span is kind of sucked up into the cuddle moment, this Bible is great to use. And it has a number of the stories in there throughout the Bible. There's about 40 Bible stories in there from the Old Testament and the New Testament. But as you can see, really colorful. There's just a lot of words in here. And this is why I think, in those busy stages of early childhood parenting, when you can't get a break or a quiet moment to yourself, you might have to incorporate a Bible practice into your time when you're rocking your child or cuddling with your child, so that you can feed and tend to your soul as well. And the reason I say this, and why this Bible, the reason I stress using this Bible, is because I think it speaks to both adults and it has a message for children as well. So here's what it says at the very beginning of the Jesus Storybook Bible. It says, God wrote, "I love you." He wrote it in the sky and on earth and under the sea. He wrote his message everywhere. As a parent, as an adult, I can look at that and go, am I looking out for the message of God's love everywhere? So it already starts to challenge me, and you're speaking these words into the life and heart of your child. Because God created everything in his world to reflect him like a mirror, to show us what he is like, to help us know him, to make our hearts sing. The way a kitten chases her tail, the way red poppies grow wild, the way a dolphin swims. And God put it into words too, and wrote it in a book called the Bible. So on this page right here, you can finish there, and then you can start talking about the birds in the trees and the kids riding a bike and start to count all the flowers in the field. But then the story starts to expand, and you start to get some introductions to the different people throughout the Bible. I love what it says right here at the beginning, which is such an important message. It says, no, the Bible isn't a book of rules or a book of heroes. The Bible is most of all a story. It is an adventure story about a young hero who comes from a far country to win back his lost treasure. It's a love story about a brave prince who leaves his palace, his throne, everything, to rescue the one he loves. It's like the most wonderful fairy tales that has come true in real life. The Jesus Storybook Bible is a great Bible to start with, but at some point, it may lose the attention of your child. So you may have to use it for your personal practice while you're getting some time with your child. The other one for the read to category is the Preschooler's Bible. So this one is designed with preschoolers in mind. The pictures are just as colorful, there's just less words. And so this one may keep their attention long enough to get through the story. But again, you want to engage with the colors and the pictures and the people on the page to develop that knowledge. In some ways, you are guiding your child into knowledge, not just reading them into knowledge. So the Preschooler Bible is a great option for the read to phase as well. As you read this, again, to emphasize that you want to start asking questions that allow them to take notice of what's on the page, and that's color and numbers and people as you go along. The second category of Bibles are the read together category. And these are Bibles for the later preschool, your TK, your early elementary age kids as well. And these are Bibles that you read together with your kids as they are learning to read themselves. So the part here is that you are moving from a knowledge of the Bible into an understanding of the Bible. And this comes along with comprehension. And you may have heard that reading is important, as we said at the beginning, but it's comprehension that really matters, and understanding of what you're reading. So you could read all day, but without a comprehensive element into that reading, then it's just words kind of floating out in the air, and they'll pick up some when it comes to language and speaking and everything like that. But when it comes to the Bible, we want to help them comprehend what they're reading. And as children start to take pride in the ability to read, you want to help them gain understanding for the meaning and the message of the Bible. And there are a couple Bibles in the read together phase that I'd recommend. And the first one is the Beginner Bibles. This one's very cartoony, as you can see from the cover. It's just as colorful. There's a wide range of stories, just like the Preschooler Bibles. Around 100 of the Bible stories are in here. Moses and the Burning Bush. This one is both in English and Spanish. Spanish is on one side of the page. English is on the other side. You can go all the way through up into the life of Jesus and the beginning of the church. But this is a great one for a kid to begin practice reading aloud that you can read together. And then we move into the Complete Bible. So this is the Adventure Bible for early readers. And I want to explain why this one is for early readers specifically. This is Genesis through Revelation. Every chapter of the books of the Bible are in here. And this is what the editors of this Bible had to say. It said, we try to use words that are easier to understand. We also made the sentences of the NIV much shorter. So this is taken from the New International Version. We did all of these things because we wanted to make the NIRV very easy to read and understand. I don't know about you, but this sounds like a Bible for me. I need a Bible that is easy to read and understand. So I may recommend this for every category of reader, but For your later preschooler, your early elementary age group, this will be your stretch version, but it's full of features to help provide a little more understanding of what you're reading. So here's just kind of a quick run through. It includes features and elements like words to treasure, did you know, people in Bible times, life in Bible times, live it, book introductions, subject index, dictionary, charts, maps, and where to start. And I'm going to say, let's start right here with the book introduction. This is helpful for anyone. It gives you an overview. Who wrote the book? Why was the book written? What did we learn about God in this book? Man, that's good for all of us. Who is important in this book? When did this happen? Where did this happen? And what are some of the stories in this book? So this is a great one to use for, again, your TK, your preschooler, moving into the kindergarten first and second. This gives them that more complete, maybe they feel a little bit older getting this Bible, and it provides some good assistance along the way. While you read this one, again, to emphasize the comprehension, you want to start asking your who, what, when, and where questions so that they can gain the understanding and start to piece together the meaning of what the Bible has to say for their lives. The last category is the Bibles that kids can read on their own. These are the Bibles for your elementary age and your tween years. So your 4th, 5th, even into your 6th grade age for kids. This is the one where kids still think pretty concretely, but they are starting to transition into a more abstract understanding of meanings and ideas, which the Bible is full of. So the 2 Bibles that I recommended here are the original version of the Adventure Bible. So this is true to the New International Version. The Reader's Version has just been adjusted a little bit for the early readers, but this is a true New International Version, very similar to the early readers version. It has features like words to treasure, did you know, life in Bible times, people in Bible times, live it, book introductions, and so on and so forth. It has your book introductions as well. As you go through it, it has these features throughout, like how to pray, which is good for anybody reading, getting to know Jesus, and the life of Jesus Christ. So it has some of these highlights that now they can go in and explore them or find them a little more easily with a better understanding of what they are. Here's the 12 disciples and who they were. For some of us, they're just names in a book. And these Bibles are created to give a little more understanding. So this one is for your older elementary age into your tween years. And then you have a very similar Bible to the Adventure Bible. Here's the thing. An Adventure Bible is not made specifically for boys, but this may be more appealing to boys. Plenty of girls go on adventures. So if your daughter is interested in the Adventure Bible, get it for her and let her use it. But, this Bible seems to have a design with girls in mind. It has a magnetic flap here, but then you get into some of the distinctive marks of this Bible. The features here include Dream Girl, Bring It On, Oh, I Get It, book introductions, Treasure This, Is There a Little Character in You, and In Your Own Words, where they start the practice of journaling. So this also has the book introductions, and it has different elements throughout the Bible. But again, this one was made with girls in mind to use. So your daughter might be more interested in that one. Here's something that I want to say about this phase of Bible reading. We often treat a Bible like any other book, and we go, oh, it's just a big old book, so we might as well start at the beginning. And even though Genesis is packed full of great stories, some of that we are familiar with and some that are just totally peculiar and obscure, what happens along the way is either we get overwhelmed by the list of people's families and genealogies, or we just get sidetracked in kind of the more kind of overviews about different practices and laws and things like that. So we end up wanting to put the Bible down, and then we forget about it because we get discouraged and I can't make it through this because I don't understand. So the thing that I would say for your kids who are reading the Bible on their own is start in the New Testament, maybe specifically with the book of Mark. So give the Bible to your child and then go to the book of Mark, read the introduction to the book of Mark here, get a better idea, and start there. These are great Bibles to give to your child, as kind of a milestone moment. They're moving out of the younger ages of elementary, they're heading towards middle school, and this Bible might be really good for them to get their hands on and to start to use. So, as an overview here, there are Read To Bibles, there are Read Together Bibles, and there are Bibles that they can read on their own. Most of these can be found on Amazon. There are 2 more Bibles that I want to recommend, and they are both apps that are free in the App Store. And the first one is the YouVersion Bible for Kids, and this one is really interactive with different elements. You can open up the story here, you can download it, you can read it, and then you see these smaller colorful dots. They all have an interaction for you. Kids can earn stars and badges and different features along the way as they read. Really, really interactive for kids to use from Genesis all the way to Revelation. The other app to use is the Beginner's Bible. So this is based off the Beginner Bible in print. This one reads the Bible out loud and kind of illustrates the different stories of the Bible. It's less interactive, but it's still really engaging. Both of those are for free at the App Store, so you can find those and incorporate those into your child's Bible reading practice. When it comes down to fostering a Bible reading habit in your child's life, I think there are 3 tips. The first one is to model it personally. The truth is, you want your kids to catch you reading the Bible. Your kids won't make the Bible a priority in their life, make Bible reading a priority in life, unless they see their parents doing it as well. So, as you have your own practice, let your kids catch you with your Bible open, or let them know that you're reading it on the phone, or let them hear you talking about it with your spouse or your partner, so that they can hear those conversations incorporated into what they see and observe from their parents, their grandparents, guardians, or other Christian leaders in their lives. The second tip is to value it as a family. And this is the part where you start to incorporate conversations about the Bible into your regular moments of the day, your daily routine. So there are some key moments throughout the day that you can use strategically to have conversations. Don't force your kids into this, but just let them naturally occur in the natural rhythms of your family's day. So it might be bath time with your preschooler, it might be drive time as you're taking kids to school, it might be meal time if you share that a couple times throughout the week, or it might be bedtime where you're having a conversation in those moments of the day around topics of life and faith, maybe what they read in the Bible that day or they learned at church over the weekend. And then the last tip is celebrate it consistently. I think what is celebrated is repeated. And so if you catch your kids taking steps to live out the Bible, your kids will start to understand that this is important. This is a positive and healthy way of life. And so when they are forgiving somebody, when they're serving somebody, when they are being selfless, or they're sharing a toy, or they're showing self-control, or they're singing praise to God throughout the house, you want to celebrate those moments because they are trying to make sense of how the Bible becomes a part of their life. So model it personally, value it as a family, and celebrate it consistently. Again, I want to reemphasize, you cannot force a love for the Bible, but you can pray that your children will have it. And really, when it all comes down to it, when all is said and done, and when you dig yourselves out from underneath a pile of Bibles, you will not regret a child who makes and takes their faith personally. Remember, the goal of Bible reading is not knowledge. It is knowledge that leads to understanding, which leads to love for God and love for others. Thanks so much for listening.